I want to know from you, Ted, why do you think you win that fight? Press the button.
It's boring talking all the rubbish and that. I just think I'm better. Listen, it's always going to be a tough fight, but I just believe I got that little bit more, and I think I beat him. But obviously, Anthony's going to think different. We're fighters. We're both. The only way we'd ever find out is when we fight.
And you've been calling out Ted for a hot minute. Like, I remember from back in the day, this is going back a few years ago now, that you was thinking about that fight. Like, why do you think that you'd beat Ted Cheeseman?
Same with Ted. I'm not going to start having Ted. He's a good fighter. I was impressed with he showed a lot of heart and determination to beat Sam, and got a bad time as well, Ted, so respect his performance even more.
Well done.
But like you said, I'm better, made him believe I've got a better pedigree. I'm a better boxer. We've got more power, more strength, and I think I'll come through.
Dream it, believe it, become it. Spence, you done it again. You drawn in the black book. You got two of the most exciting light middleweights in this country.
No, correction, they're super welterweights now.
Oh, yes, is that what they call it? Super welters.
You can't keep up with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, here on The Fight Is Right, we got the Scouse boy, the one, the only, the Commonwealth Games 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist, Mr. Anthony Fowler.
Come on, my son, Anthony. Come on.
And then, moving on to my left or right, we have the man they call the Big Cheese. What's up, flipping McDonald's? Ted, or what was it? Big Cheese? We got the one, the only. What's that belt you won the other day, Ted?
IBF
International
title.
The IBF International Champion. I know Ted as a little kid when I used to bring Otto down to the old Fisher Club. Him and Otto, remember? Him and Otto used to be sparring like flipping grown men.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago, you know, Ted.
10 years ago, Ted.
Yeah.
Imagine, you know, and now Stevie Isa used to be there in the corner. But we'll talk about that. But ladies and gentlemen, on The Fight Is Right, we have Mr. Ted Cheeseman.
Come on down. Let's bring this on. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. The best I've ever seen you box, Mr. Fowler, was the other day on the fight camp, on Eddie Earn's fight camp. Like,
yeah,
that's the best I've ever seen you box. Now, what's the difference in you now to the person who I saw when you came up second best against Fitzgerald?
I just think now I'm boxing to my strengths. I'm using my height, my range, my power. I'm sitting down my shots more. I'm not trying to apply too much pressure. I'm just taking my time. I've got 10, 12 rounds now, so I'm just taking my time and then get the job done when I'm ready.
Okay. And Ted Cheeseman, we just saw you in potentially British Boxing's Fight of the Year.
Yes.
With your fight with Sam Egerton. I don't know what was going on there, man. The egg and cheese race. I don't know what was going on in that. Seriously. Like, both of you just boxed. And like, let's talk about, okay, then, well, what's the next progression? And the thing is this, I asked Ted, who are the guys that you like to fight? And Ted sent me back a list of names. Your name was up front, Mr. Fowler. And same with Mr. Fowler. I did the same thing. And your name was up front, Ted. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of easy because you're both under Matchroom, right? It'd be kind of easy to make that match. I want to know from you, Ted, why do you think you win that fight? Press the button.
It's boring talking all the rubbish and that. I just think I'm better. Listen, it's always going to be a tough fight, but I just believe I got that little bit more, and I think I beat him. But obviously, Anthony's going to think different. We're fighters. We're both. The only way we'd ever find out is when we fight.
And you've been calling out Ted for a hot minute. Like, I remember from back in the day, this is going back a few years ago now, that you was thinking about that fight. Like, why do you think that you'd beat Ted Cheeseman?
Same with Ted. I'm not going to start having Ted. He's a good fighter. I was impressed with he showed a lot of heart and determination to beat Sam, and got a bad time as well, Ted, so respect his performance even more.
Well done.
But like you said, I'm better, made him believe I've got a better pedigree. I'm a better boxer. We've got more power, more strength, and I think I'll come through.
Ted, a lot of people thought that you lost the fight. Sorry, that you won the fight against Fitzgerald. A lot of people thought that. I was one of them. I thought you actually won that fight. And if you had the chance to go back in with Fitzgerald again, Like, what would you do different?
Exactly what I've done against Egerton. When I won the earlier round, instead of keep moving, thinking I've won the rounds, all I've got to do is stay on my feet. When it gets tough, I'll stand there. And against Fitzgerald, I never stood there because I thought I've won enough rounds. All I've got to do now is stay on my feet and box, try not to make no mistakes, and then I'll win. But it never happened. But if I got that fight again, when it was getting that he wants to start pushing on, I'll stand there with him and trade.
Right.
And we got us, Anthony, the same question. Because, that must have been heartbreaking for you losing to Fitzgerald early on in your career. But I know you've come back strong. I read your tweets and stuff like that. And I remember,
confident person. Very
confident. And I remember when you first turned pro, I remember Tony Bellew speaking about you and saying, listen, this kid is going all the way. He's one of the most hardest, dedicated individuals I know. So I know something like the Fitzgerald contest is something you would like to avenge. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know what? I hold my hands up that fight. It was too personal for me. It was like, I don't box anymore with emotion. Like my last few fights, I've won easy. Without being cocky, I beat Brian Rose easy. High scarf, me at 2 pounds. I've won easy, but I'm so emotional in my box now. I use my brain. I listen to my coach. I'm trying to go in a little bit heartless now. Where in that fight, it meant like it was more than just a fight. It was like personal.
Yes.
He was talking about my girlfriend. He was insulting me. It was really, really personal. And I think because it was that personal to me, for some strange reason, after 3 rounds, I had no energy left. I think I tried to hit him that much in the first few rounds that it just drained my whole energy. And Dave Cole will tell you, I was sparring 8-10 rounds easy, 30-second break. But in that fight, I just felt dead drained. But I think what it was is it meant too much to me. It was too personal. And I think all that I'm not nervous, like that emotional energy just drained me. I've only been pro 18 months. It was my 10th fight, chief support in the Apple Arena. The whole stadium was there for me and him. I wanted to hurt him. I didn't want to outbox him. I wanted to hurt him and put it leave him in a bad way. Even going to the last round, I felt as though I'd done more than enough. I knew I won the first few rounds easy. A few close rounds in between. I hadn't gotten the knife. In round 10, I didn't want to beat him on points. I wanted to knock him out to prove a point. And I ended up walking into a shot and getting dropped, and that cost me the fight. I would have obviously drew. I was up on all the cards. Only thing I needed to do was stay on my feet, and I won the fight. But I still wanted to knock him out, which is really silly on my behalf. But it was an experience. I've been pro 18 months. I was knocking all these journeymen out. Everyone's gassing you up. Yes. The champion. It can go to your head. You can start thinking you're unbeatable, and then you can come unstuck, and that's what happened to me. But I've learned a lot from that fight, and going to like box of Cheeseman, Metcalf now. I've got it in me. I know now it's a 10-12 round fight. Can't go in there thinking it's going to be easy. I'm just going to blast them out. So I learned what pro boxing was. It was a harsh lesson, but it was a blessing in disguise. And moving forward now, like you see me last fight, I'm back in the old me now. I've got my confidence back, got me swagger back, and my belief back. Like I stopped believing in myself a little bit because I was really surprised I lost that fight. I couldn't believe it. Like I was more like stunned. I couldn't believe it. I would have bet every penny I've got on me winning that fight, and obviously I would have lost it. So that's how confident I was. But it went against me. So I've learned a harsh lesson, but I've come back stronger, as you've seen.
Yes, sir. Ted, tell us about your relationship with Tony Sims. I know you've been with Tony from the start, and I'm going to ask Anthony that new question because I know he's just joined Shane McGuigan, and I'm really interested to, and I'm sure the people are interested to hear how that relationship began. But tell us a bit how much and how great a part Tony Sims has played in your career thus far, Ted.
I think there's a thing. I think with boxing, even like going back to that starting the question, as an amateur, I started at Fisher at 12 years old. Yes. When I turned pro, I stayed with Fisher the whole way. It's like a process. When I turned pro with Tony, everything was going smooth. I had my own problems, what caused my regrets, but that weren't Tony's fault. And Tony got a lot of good fighters, and he's a well-known coach, and he could have just got rid of me and thought caused more headache than what I need. And he stuck by me, stayed low, helped me get through all my troubles, and he still kept pushing on, improving me. Even still last year, you see the improvements coming, and in this fight, you see more improvements. I'm still young. You know what I mean? I'm still sorry, I'm still 24 years old. I'm a young pro, 25 years old. I turned 25 last week. I'm still a young pro. I'm still learning the game. If you look at it, if you take away Kell Brook and Liam Smith in the light middleweight
division,
middleweight division, look at all the fighters in there and look at the last 8 fights and then look at mine. It's a total different. The learning process I've gone through, tough fights I've took, and what I've come through. I've got all the experience I need now to push on.
So that's why we're going to make that fight. And tell us, you got a new trainer. You've already said you got your confidence back, your swagger back. What's it like working with me old mate, Shane, down there in the McGuigan's factory? Again, Shane is a young guy, a young trainer, very, very knowledgeable, even at this embryonic stage of his training career. And I know, Shane has been involved in some big fights already, so I know he's doing his work. But tell me what Shane has actually meant to you and your career thus far.
Yeah, Shane works really, really hard. Like I train harder now than I ever have. Really, it reminds me of the GB setup. Like I thought they were overtraining me, but that's how you got to train to get to the top. And you first got to train really, really hard. And like I'm down in London, mate. I've got no distractions. I've literally got a single room. I'm in the same house with the lads. But it's like a bit of a family feel. Whereas in Sheffield, I was on my own, living in I was living in student accommodation in Sheffield, but like with strangers. Where now I'm in a house with the likes of Luke Campbell, Lonzo Coley, Cheeseman Smith, who are like better pros than what I am. But I'm looking to them, and like they're fighting for world title level. So I've got people around me like that. Shane's obviously really, really knowledgeable, one of the best coaches in the country, if not the world. So I'm obviously going to get better. And like for my next fight again, I'm going to show more improvements yet again. I'm going to keep getting better now because I'm still a young pro. I've been pro, and I think what has it been, like 2.5, 3 years now. So I'm learning all the time, and I've had 14 fights now. I'm just going to keep getting better and better.
What was the difference in the change? Because like when you were with Dave Caldwell, what's the training routines different from now that you're working with Shane? What's different?
Without giving away the trade
exactly.
secrets.
Yeah, exactly. But what's different?
I think the main thing is they train me like in the gym. They was in the gym for like 3 hours, something like that. We'd work on a lot of like drills, technique drills, but it won't be as intense as with Shane. He changed it a lot shorter. You get into time plus to the gym, but after like 45 minutes, you can't even walk. You feel like you're going to collapse, like literally. Some days I walk at the gym, I need to have like a protein shake because I want to collapse. I'm exaggerating. He changed it at a really, really high intensity, and then you don't get much of a rest, and back in the gym again for like S&C or circuits, and it's really, really tough. But I think for me as a fighter, I need to work on like high intensity. Like that's what I think I need to work on. And I fight at a high intensity, so I've got to train at one too because it's me. As you know, with me, I'm rolling there to heavy, so I've got to be really, really fit in me to carry me power to the later rounds.
Yeah, well, if you fight Ted, you're definitely going to get a high intensity fight because I know Ted brings the cheese.
Ted don't play, you know. I just want you to know that he's South London. You know,
I know.
We're serious now. I just want you to know we're serious now, South London. Trust me. Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking out for you here. I'm just looking out for you. I ain't trying to cause no trouble.
I think these two, listen, you're both gentlemen.
No, absolutely. It's lovely. You're great gentlemen.
And it's been great talking to the both of you. And you can see this is not going to be one of them fights where
I'm going to smash you.
Yeah.
I think we both matured. I think like a few years ago,
yes,
me and Ted was being a bit more like bad man and stuff, but as fighters, we both matured. He's had a bit of a bad time. I had my bad time. And we both come through it. And we know how hardcore boxing is. It's a horrible, horrible sport. It's really, really hard. So, like, I've got respect for the guy because as a pro, mate, it's our game. He's come back. I thought he'd beat Conway. Fitzgerald, he was unlucky. And he's come back. I'm respectful because I know I felt when I lost that fight. It's not on worse. It's for a heartbreak. So, to pick yourself back up, it takes a lot. It takes a real man. So, I respect the fella for that, and obviously, if we do fight, respect out the window, we're going to not go toe to toe, we're going to have a war. So it is what it is, isn't it? The best man will come through.
See, that's what I like. You know why? Because I know that when you guys fight, I know there's going to be a proper tear up. I know.
And at the end, I want my percentage.
Yeah.
Goes without saying, don't it?
Yeah. No, it's going to be. No. You know it's going to be a war, and that's why like you see those guys who don't need to like, look, I'm going to do this for you, and all the rest of it. you know it's going to be a war.
And I think it's important that the fighters always maintain good respect amongst one another. Because, you know, as Anthony said, it is a brutal sport, you know, and, you know, we all got families to go home to and we're just trying to earn a living. So I think that, you know, two gentlemen like yourself, Ted, who I've known since he's a young man, and Anthony, who I've watched as an amateur and as a professional, may the best man win. That's all I'm saying. But we need this fight because I think, you know, Ted's got something that probably Anthony wants. And who knows, it could have been the other way around a few months ago or, you know, a year ago or so.
But I'll tell you the thing is this. It's like Ted Cheeseman just gave us possibly British boxing fight of the year.
It was a great fight.
A wicked fight, right? And for polishedness of perfection, Anthony Fowler just gave us that. Because I didn't think Anthony Fowler was going to box like that.
Bruv, don't mess about with the machine. The machine's
no,
coming to shoot you up. Bruv, once the machine gets that CB... Once the machine gets that CBC something down his... Bruv, it's all over. It's all over. So, bruv, Anthony's on it. He's in London. Hold on, where's Shane's in? Shane's in London, right?
Yeah, Shane's in London.
Yeah, Shane's in London. You know,
bruv, you want to be careful, like some South London man that'll come pay you a visit.
Don't worry, listen, don't worry about all that. Don't worry, Spencer's talking nonsense again. Don't worry about that. You know,
don't worry.
Spencer gets excited.
And don't worry, because O'Hara Davis, he ain't allowed in South London.
Oh, wait there. Yeah. Let's touch. Listen, Ted, you know about O'Hara because you've been in the gym with him.
He's off key. He's nuts in it.
No, what are you saying that about O, man?
What are you talking about? He's nuts.
But wasn't O talking about fighting you, Anthony?
He's a fraud, and he's a shit out. Don't talk about it.
He's a fraud.
Bruv, we got to get O'Hara on this thing here because... No, I mean, if you put O'Hara in this mix, Ted, it's exciting because you've been in the gym with O'Hara. You know he's a live wire. So, Ted... Anthony Fowler and O'Hara, that would be something. But when I heard about that fight, when I heard about that fight,
wasting that 84 credit.
behave yourself. I thought to myself initially, you know, Anthony's going to be a bit too big for O'Hara, but I know O'Hara will have it, and I think it's a fight. I don't know. A fight is a fight.
Listen, everywhere O'Hara goes, he causes wars and trouble.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Listen. It is where it is. It's the fight game. Not everyone could be polished like these two young men. And whether you love him or you hate him, O'Hara is bringing excitement. You know that edited covered. You know,
he shows.
He's O'Hara's excitement. So listen, I don't want to hold up you two young athletes any longer. It's been great having you both on the show. I love the way you're respectful to one another. No bad mouthing, no talk. Ted's come out the restaurant. He's in the stock room of the restaurant to talk to us. And Anthony looks like he's resting up like a proper professional should.
Drinking water as well.
Drinking water.
Is there CBD oil in
with
that water?
With a CB something.
So wait there. What's the oil that you got? Plug the oil.
Plug the oil. Give us a plug on the oils, Ant.
Right there. Where's the stock room?
Bro, he's got it. He's got it already.
It's always in there, mate. Whether it's in there with me stuff.
Come on.
Got me barakas.
So tell us a bit about that quickly, because we don't want to hold up Ted any longer.
Mate, it's honest, mate. You think I'm lying? The old me Twitter, the feedback I get is unbelievable. It's just changed people's lives, mate. It's like cure illnesses, helping with recovery for myself.
Yes.
In America, you were on like 3 or 4 years ago. We're just catching up, mate. I mean, but it's good stuff. Spencer, I'll send you some out on the house, mate.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to send it to you now. Send some to Ted Cheeseman as well.
Yeah, send some to Ted. Ted fucking...
He'll roll it up and smoke it.
All right, listen. Gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for giving us your time this evening, especially Ted, because I know he's in a restaurant at the moment. With his family.
Eating some big expensive restaurant in London.
And all right, listen. Oh, yeah,
Ted. It's a big expensive restaurant.
Ted, you got a few quid now, so, bruv, it's all changed, Ted. Money changes everything. Yeah, that's what you told the tax man, but don't worry about that. But Ted Cheeseman, Anthony the Machine Fowler, it's been a pleasure having you both on The Fight Is Right.
Come on down.
Remember to like, comment and subscribe to the Stamina for Sale YouTube channel.